Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and today we're back with another Honkai Star Rail video. We have a free-to-play friendly one because this is the new 5-star Lightcone that's going to be appearing in the Herta shop called Solitary Healing. For those of you who don't remember, Herta shop, you can get the bonds to claim it by running through the simulated universe, completing like your weeklies. You get 1 bond a week, so 8 weeks you will get 1 of this, and another 8 weeks thereafter you can get it for free through Super Imposition 5. In terms of this gear, I think the TLDW, for any of you who don't want too much information, it's nice but a bit niche. Why is it nice? I think that's the first part. The nice thing is, of course, it's free. You can get it to Super Imposition 5 for free. This, of course, the numbers that we see here are Super Imposition 1 values. They didn't release it on HoYoLab yet. Usually when it goes to Super Imposition 5, the numbers here you will see will go up like 50% or double. What makes it nice is because it's free Super Imposition 5, you also get a 10 to 20% increase in other free-to-play Lightcones, like the Fermata one, which Kafka likely will be using if you don't have any other option. It's about 10 to 20% in base stats increase. This 10 to 20% of course compounds on top of that. If you're running with like attack percentage gear, all these base attack makes a big difference, especially when you're compounding those attack percentage bonuses. Considering that it's for free, and if you are maybe not having enough resources to pull signature Lightcones for them, I think it's quite a good addition to the game. Some people are commenting that it's kind of mid, but you must understand that it's a free-to-play Lightcone. It can't be super broken. If not, they can't. If not, what's the next level up to force people to make people spend money? It means it has to be like god tier broken, and then power creep and all that stuff will come into the game. So I think it's a pretty nice starting ground. It's niche because it really is for DOT damage dealers to benefit from. And as you can see here, when you use your ultimate, is increased DOT dealt by the wearer, not like the target increased DOT. What this means is straight away, if you don't care for break effect, for example, that you are welt, imaginary break effect doesn't really do too much. I've already done like a full video on break effect for imaginary characters. You can check that out to see exactly like what happens, how much speed slow do you get at 150% break effect. Check it out if you're interested in all that detail. I also did it for ice as well to do the comparison, but basically, imaginary characters I don't think scales very well with break effect, so I don't really like it on them, and Dwell doesn't do DOT. Characters like Pella doesn't do DOT as well, so these two characters immediately taken out. Quantum also not very effective, so I'm just putting here like the characters that don't really do too well from this gear. Other than that, the other 3 of them currently that we have in game, I think Sampo, Kafka as well as Luca, all these 3 do benefit from it quite decently well, especially if you don't have any other options in the game. Some of you might be wondering, when would this one be like best in slot? I think if you are a damage dealer, you care about the 5-star stats, you don't have anything else that offers you the 5-star stats, maybe you don't have, for example, Good Night Sleep Well, the one that is like super damaging option that increases based on the debuffs that the enemy has, I think this one will be a very good temporary solution for a lot of your characters that you're pulling. 5-star stats, you have break effect 20%, wind shear is very nice for break effect, as well as lightning, as well as physical. All does benefit a bit from the break effect. When you use their ultimate, all 3 of them like to use their ultimate quite frequently as well, especially if they have good enough uptime to increase the DOT that they dealt by the wearer by 24% at Super Imposition 1 for 2 turns. Very nice for all of them, and when the target is suffering from DOT defeated, wearer gets more energy, so it's like a very quick way to get refund. I think all 3 of them benefit well. I don't think it will be best in slot for Kafka, in my opinion, especially amongst the other 4 stars. They are much better 4-star limited Lightcones, but the one true value about this is if you are running more than one Nihility character in the roster, for example you're playing a DOT team, you need to have multiple characters that have good enough gear, and you don't want to end up using a crappy Lightcone because you just don't have a good one. This in that case would fill in the gaps for you to give a pretty good amount of resource to your whole entire team. For example, like the new character that's coming out, the Fire Nihility character, Gwenhyphen or Guinevere, she might also be a DOT tech character in future. We don't know yet as of time of recording, but if she is, then you will have at least another option available to give to your other roster. You don't have to like be forced to gacha a Lightcone just because you want to play a DOT team. So I think that is like something good. Definitely indirectly a buff to DOT teams, because generally we don't have too many DOT characters in the game currently, but if this signals that more Nihility characters likely will be damaged over time, I do think it's an indirect signal that Kafka, it does benefit a bit from its introduction. Probably going to be good on Kafka, not best in slot, but likely if you are talking about account resource wise, definitely good amounts of value. Now let's take a look at some other comparisons, and I want to talk about the other Lightcones in the game currently and which are better and inferior, because all of us have different Lightcone combinations. So stay with me, let me just switch the screen real quick. Okay, so I'm not going to be talking about the limited 5 stars like of course Kafka Lightcone, Zero Lightcone. They likely will be best in slot for the respective characters that you are looking for. If you have them, you probably either have the character also or maybe have better use for them. I think the most interested one is people might be looking at the 5-star Weld Lightcone, which is a standard Lightcone that anyone can get if you exchange enough tokens from the shop. It's not to say that you should, it's just telling you that you could. That's just a quick disclaimer. Increase damage to debuff enemies by 24%, where users skill hit rate increases this hit rate and attack by 24% respectively at Super Imposition 1. I think this is stronger on like the general Nihility characters that don't scale off with DOT. If you're thinking of the other characters, definitely you want to put it on them. Whereas of course for Nihility characters themselves, we need to check again whether this whereas damage increases applies to the DOT being applied as well. More testing needs to be done specifically for this one. Let me know if you guys have this. If there's enough demand, I'll actually do it on a separate video dedicated for this testing. If there's not many people that have this or plan to exchange for it, I don't think it's necessary. But let's talk first about Good Night Sleep Well. For every debuff the enemy has, this is the one that, especially if you have at Super Imposition 5, it goes all the way up to 72%. Likely it's going to be best in slot for your DPSs like Kafka, still in my opinion. Super strong, 72% damage increase. Not to mention it also applies to like the normal instance of damage, the ones that can crit, as well as DOT as well. So in totality, I think this is still going to be stronger, even though at Super Imposition 5 Solitary Healing might have nicer multipliers. All in all, I think this one likely will still be better than the free-to-play Lightcone, especially if you have it at high Super Impositions. Of course, the other options, I think Fermata is the one that we are usually comparing it with, because this is also free-to-play. At 32% or even at level 1, break effects already less. The amount of damage done when you are shock or wind shear is also less. So I think that this one likely will be inferior, especially to the free-to-play Lightcone. So it's a significant upgrade to what we have if you just like only are free-to-play, have like many limited Lightcones. I think it's a significant upgrade already. Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat is a totally different Lightcone. It's mainly focused on defense shredding for Nihility characters. Gonna be slightly more versatile to use. You don't have to only use it on DOT teams, DOT characters. You can use it outside of that as well. I think Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat is still gonna be better. Eyes of Prey is probably the other one that is going to compete with. At max Super Imposition is like 40% hit rate with increase in DOT. I don't think hit rate is as critical. I think damage increase is much better, especially for the DOT characters at this point in the game where enemies don't have too much effect rest. For now, especially if you see here the stats here, it's about 50 attack less, so it's about 10% less. HP is also somewhere around 10% to 15% less, same as that. I do think that the free-to-play 5-star Herta Lightcone Solitary Healing is going to be better than Eyes of Prey still. And those are my thoughts for the top 4. This is really an event Lightcone. If you have this here and you have defense shredding characters, it's likely going to be better for them. But of course, if you don't have like defense shredding characters for DOT in general, I don't think it's going to be as useful. And last but not least, the free-to-play Lightcone, or sorry, the Battle Pass Lightcone, the pay-to-play one, not free-to-play. Just a quick correction. With this one is mainly focused on like dealing additional damage through attack or skill. It's more generally useful, but I think for DOT, the free-to-play Herta Lightcone is going to be much better. You don't have to pay money for it as well. And I'm not going to be talking about the 3-star Lightcones. Why? Is because if I put it to Super Imposition 5, their stats are very significantly lower. This is like 40%, like almost half of the 5-star Lightcone. This is like 200 base HP less. So you really give up a lot for 3 stars versus a 5-star, and that's what makes a 5-star so much better. Okay, and what we notice also from the base stat line of the 5 stars, the 5 stars don't exactly have the same stat. If you see here, 582, 463, and we just go to the other 5-star Lightcone here, this one is also 582, 463, and the last one here, the other 5-star that we have in the game, is the exact same stat line. So all the 3 5-star Lightcones we currently have in the game have better stats in here compared to Solitary Healing. For any of you who don't remember, I'm just going to switch the screen real quick, but I generally notice this in a lot of all the free-to-play 5-star Lightcones or Herta shop. They slightly have like a bit inferior stats compared to these other 5 stars, so they don't exactly scale the same. So switching the screen real quick, we can see that the 463 defense is already like 70 lower, which almost like 15 to 20% lower. As well as the attack, the HP is the same, but the attack here was like 40 or 60 lower than the other 5-star Lightcone. So that's just a quick note to do. The base stats for this one is slightly weaker than standard 5-star, so it's not like a true 5-star. It's like a pseudo 5-star in terms of base stats, but still is a bit of an upgrade to any 4 stars in terms of base stats. And if you found this video helpful, do give me a like, subscribe for more of such future content. If you're interested in other content about Break Effect, check out this video on Imaginary. Otherwise, I think you'll be interested in the DOT guide that I'll leave right here as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.